People may see it like that, but I think what's happened with the coalition is that we've perhaps pushed Welsh Labour more to the left because of the fact that they have to be always on their toes, they have to be scrutinising themselves constantly. So we've come in with some perhaps alternative policies, whereas they've become more complacent in the last 10 years of devolution. We've actually actually have to sit up and listen and to actually negotiate on certain things. But on the unionist front, I guess what we can say is that there are people in Labour who are very much in favour of more powers for Wales, and so trying to, as a party, make sure that we can show those progressives in the Labour Party who want more powers, who want to work progressively with pride, and those people in the Labour Party who are mostly MPs, we have to acknowledge that, who want to want the Welsh Assembly to stay as it is, to check their jobs in Westminster. So we've got that dichotomy going, and I think we want to have the debate in the future. Perhaps I don't think I'm a lone voice, but there's certainly a core of us who want to have the debate in Wales as to whether we can realign Welsh politics along those lines, given that we are a new, evolving democracy, whether Welsh Labour should remain as part of UK Labour. Certainly Roger Morgan said that he would look into that when he first became First Minister, and whether then we can totally see a change in the way Welsh politics works, because for example there were people in my party who wanted that coalition with the Tories, so whether there would be scope for the future of changing how Welsh politics works in terms of party allegiances and so forth. I mean, I don't know whether it would be ambivalence towards the National Assembly as my gut reaction to your question. It's just ambivalence to the political class and the political makeup of institutions, and how previously, when you had the Wales office, people felt shut out. They didn't see that it was accountable to them. They felt that all the decisions were made in London, especially people from my party would say that to you. I think, of course, the Assembly and the Senedd has provided more of a political culture, especially if you talk to third sector organisations or lobby groups. They can have instant access to us as Assembly members. We've got a new concept of the Petitions Committee where people can come and lobby us directly, come and give evidence about their local concerns. New initiatives like this, however small they may seem to a political anorak, are big in terms of how the Welsh public can take part in politics. And the same can be said for young people getting involved in politics now. We know that they want to get involved in pressure groups, in groups that are exciting and new, and I think that's what we can now begin to offer Wales, is a new kind of politics, which was different to how the Wales office was run, and show that we are accountable and open to them, offering new ways of providing solutions to the economic crisis, offering new educational opportunities like the foundation phase, offering Welsh nationalists and those who want to learn Welsh the opportunity to have a new Welsh language legislation, with a Welsh language commissioner for the first time ever, enshrining rights for Welsh people. So lots of those issues then, of course, then has given us a shape for what is to come. That's not to say that some people don't feel alienated still, especially perhaps in the regions of Wales where they feel removed from Cardiff, and that's still something we have to work on, which is why it's so important that the Welsh Assembly government offices that have opened recently in Aberystwyth and in North Wales, in Llandudno, play a key role in communicating with the public about what they want to see. Again, we still have much more work to do in terms of how we consult the Welsh public about what we do as an Assembly and how the Welsh Assembly government responds to that. But I would certainly say that there's a new culture that has arisen with devolution, and I'm pleased to say that I was one of those young people who helped in the referendum in '97, and can see that change taking place every day in Wales, and hopefully that will move forward now when we have the next referendum. Well, I think, you know, with infrastructure, we need to massively increase the train links between north and south, and that has been something that the Deputy First Minister, Ian Jones, has announced recently. So that is positive. You know, there are some people who would say, well, let's just build a dual carriageway through Wales, and that would sort things out. But I think, as you've hinted upon, it's more cultural than that, and there are difficulties there. But it's not to say that they can't be overcome. You know. Going back to why we're here today, and to the discussions that take place between Northern Irish politicians about the massive conflicts that have happened between certain sections of their society. Ours are small on that scale, so I think that we need to just address those matters head on and come to grips with the differences that may exist, or may not even exist in reality, but may just be myth. And we need to get over those myths if they are there, and I know they are there because people raise them all the time, but we need to really tackle that head on. And I can't give the panacea answer to that, but there's an obligation on politicians from north, south, west and east to come together and to discuss that. For example, the regional committees just didn't work, and that was the answer at the beginning of devolution. If we have regional committees of assembly members, then we won't have any problems with different areas of Wales. But now the only committee, the regional committee that exists, is North Wales, and none of the others are in existence. So that isn't the answer. So that was already pushed to one side. So we need to come up with new ways of working to encourage people from a bottom-up level that they feel that Wales is theirs, and that there is such a thing as a Welsh nation. I think the Plaid are on the up because, you know, we are in coalition with the Labour Party. We have to acknowledge that. But I think that, especially from the area I represent and where I come from originally as well, we have to be challenging Labour in those Valley seats where they have been complacent on a council level mostly, because they've been running the councils for years and are just tired and withdrawn. So I think that we can offer that alternative as a party. But I think that, as I've acknowledged on my blog previously, we have to be more confident and more risk-taking as a party to go into those areas, to invest money in those areas, because I don't think that we've done enough of that. We've been pumping money into places like Ynys Môn and Ceredigion, and even Carmarthen East, where we have a massive majority now due to the success of Adam Price and Roger Glyn Thomas. I think now is the time to really take those risks and look to those valleys communities to take over the mantle from Labour, where I know people have lost support in the party, not just because of recent events like the expenses scandal, but just because they've stopped listening. Now some of them are starting to listen again because they realise their seats are in jeopardy, but I think there's a massive potential for Plaid to be that left-wing party, which we are, but to say it louder and to say it clearer.